guys are all in for a treat today. Today I'm going to be going over the 4 things that I look at when I'm either looking to purchase a commercial real estate property or represent a buyer or a seller on a commercial real estate transaction. My name is Richard Rodriguez, founder of Commercial Agent Academy. I'm a commercial real estate agent with over 100 million in closed volume. I'm also a commercial real estate investor that has become financially free through the avenue of commercial real estate. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over the 4 things that I look at before I purchase a property or represent anyone on a property as it pertains to commercial real estate. So let's get into it. The first thing that I'm looking at is what is going on in that property. Is there a tenant in place? Is it vacant? And if there's a tenant in place, I need to know what the lease terms are. This is critical because I need to know what I'm going to do with my plan, what essentially I can do, and what plan I can take on after I purchase that property or represent a buyer, a seller on that property based on the lease terms. If there's a tenant on that property, more than likely there's a lease. And on that lease, it may be on a month to month, it may be on 2, 3, 4 years out, it may have an option. This is all very important to know so that when you purchase the property, you have an idea of what essentially your income is going to be and how you can fluctuate that as far as increasing it. Because if you're watching this, we're in the business of real estate and we want to make money, okay? And understanding the lease terms is going to be critical based and going to determine what essentially you can even do there and execute a plan. The second thing is know your numbers. How much money can you get for the property at market rate? And the one thing to always be aware of is that in commercial real estate, you have different asset types. You have industrial real estate, you have office, you have retail, you have land, you have churches. There's various different types of commercial real estate asset types, and every single one is unique and every single one has different market rental rate. So you have to understand what you can rent that property for based on what the market is doing. So know your numbers is critical. It's going to give you an idea of what you can potentially get from that property if the current tenant is not paying market rent. The third thing that I'm always looking at is what am I going to have to do to improve this property to get it up to par? Capital expenditures is the term. How much money do I need to put in to get this thing leased out or to get a renewal with the current tenant? Do I need to replace the roof? Do I need to replace the plumbing? Do I need to replace the electrical? Is the foundation okay? Is the exterior need to be painted? Does the interior offices need to be adjusted? There's so many things to take into consideration, and it is critical that you account for this as you're underwriting the property. And this is why this is the third thing that I'm always looking at so that I could account for this as I go into a deeper analysis on my returns. Which leads to the 4th thing that I'm looking at, my return on investment. I don't know about you, but I'm looking to get paid. Period, point blank. I want to get paid for my efforts. I want to get paid for the wisdom and knowledge that I have. And when I look at a property, the last thing that I'm looking at is what my return on my investment is going to be. I'm a cash flow investor. Okay, I'm a cash flow investor. I like to wake up to a paycheck. I like to wake up knowing that I'm getting paid without having to lift a finger. So the cash on cash return for me is critical. I always look at my cash on cash first. How much money did I put into this deal? And what is my return on that money that I have in that deal? Cash on cash. And that's why it's important to know how much money you're putting in as it pertains to your capital expenditures if you're doing any upgrades after you purchase a property. So you could account for that as well on your cash on cash. Me personally, anything over an 8% I think is a solid base hit double depending on the property. So anything over 8% I'm willing to jump on, depending on also how much I need to put into the deal. If I'm needing to put larger amounts, usually I want a higher return, but 8% for me, the CD is not beating that. The bank's definitely not beating that. It's a safe place to park my money. That's for sure. So another thing that I look at is my internal rate of return. So the time value of money. What is my rate of return during my entire holding period? And typically I like to account for a 5-year holding period when I'm looking at the internal rate of return. And lastly, I like to project value. I like to project value using the cap rate valuation method. So what is my net operating income? That's why it's important to know what you could rent it for after you purchase it and what the market is going for, so that you could account what your net operating income is going to be after your expenses, and you divide that by the market cap rate. That's going to give you a value, and that value is something that I look at to foresee a potential refinance 2-3 years down the road, to know how much I could get a payday for, essentially, and potentially get a higher return, and then potentially get an infinite return, being that I could take out all my money and just still be cash flowing from that commercial real estate property. So these are the 4 things that I'm looking at before I submit an offer, before I even do any further due diligence. And these are the 4 things that have helped me get financially free through commercial real estate. So if you have any questions, comment below. Let me know what you think of the video. And as always, join the community. I want to get to meet you guys down the road, and yeah, let's go get wealthy, guys. And as always, I hope you found a lot of value in this video. Do not forget to join my free Commercial Agent Academy community, where we're going to be able to network. I'm going to be able to provide more resources. And as always, you are one commercial deal away from changing the rest of your life. Talk soon.